Welcome to another episode of the Engage Jeffco Podcast. I'm Amber.
And I'm Johnny. We've got such a great conversation to share with you all today about a partnership between Jefferson County Business and Workforce Center and Lockheed Martin that's unlocking opportunities for Jeffco residents entering the workforce. Can you give us a preview of our chat, Amber?
Of course. We sat down with Brandon Toya and Dianah Cortez from Lockheed Martin, along with Mike Aman from Jeffco's Business and Workforce Center to talk about their collaboration on the Advanced Manufacturing Technician Apprenticeship Program, AMTAP for short. The program is one of the first registered apprenticeship aerospace programs in the nation and connects Jeffco's largest employer to residents in our community, regardless of where they are in their career journey, looking to forge a path as an electronics technician.
Yeah, in the past decade, the program has afforded hundreds of Jeffco residents an opportunity to learn job skills necessary to kickstart their careers, whether with Lockheed Martin or elsewhere. So without any further ado, let's get to our conversation with Brandon, Dianah, and Mike.
First, Brandon, can you tell us a little bit about the Lockheed Martin Advanced Manufacturing Technician Apprenticeship Program and what makes it unique?
Absolutely, and thank you for having us. We're excited to be here. Let's just call this AMTAP for the rest of this meeting. That sure is a mouthful when we're thinking about this apprenticeship program. But to tell you just a little bit about this program, we are a United States Department of Labor registered apprenticeship program. This program gives candidates an opportunity for a full-time job offer at Lockheed Martin after 9 weeks, followed by a wonderful opportunity for a career journey throughout their evolution throughout Lockheed Martin. It's a 9-week program where candidates get a full-time offer. After they graduate, they have opportunities all over throughout Lockheed Martin. But what really makes this unique is that there's no experience required. It's a earn while you learn apprenticeship program. And I think the other thing that really makes this unique is our world-class instructors. Our instructors have all come from the production floor, so they've had an opportunity to work on this hardware, and that really gives them a calculated edge when it comes to teaching and leaning in and helping really support these candidates as they go through the program.
And Dianah, what are the key skills and knowledge that participants gain through AMTAP in 9 weeks? That's a pretty
Definitely.
long time. Lots of things they're doing, but it's a quick program to know that this is really going to change people's lives.
Yeah, absolutely. There's two areas that we like to focus on. So, of course, there's going to be the technical areas where, you're going to learn, basic electrical, solder, which end to hold of the soldered iron or not. I always tell people if you smell bacon, you're holding down the wrong end. Cable harness, torque, mate, demate, a lot of those things, that's the technical side. You're going to leave our program with 2 IPC industry recognized certifications. And so that is the J standard. So that's the soldering. You're going to leave with the IPC A620. That's cable harness. So you have that technical expertise, but coupled with that, what makes our program so unique and special is that we have these behavioral competencies. You think about if our program reaches people who have no prior experience. And so we really walk them through those soft skills, like how do you work on a team? What's the importance of asking questions, the importance of everybody can use the stop command on the production floor, whether you're a technician day one or you're a director or VP. It's just those sort of functionalities, the soft skills, the asking questions, really being inquisitive to set them up for success at Lockheed Martin too. So.
What are some of the projects or technologies that students get to be hands-on with through this program?
Our students have gone through a lot of different programs. Of course, you can think of Juno, OSIRIS-REx. There's a lot of commercial, civil, military space, Orion, the next evolution of human spaceflight. There's some really, really cool things, and those are only the things that are unclassified I'd like to talk about. Of course, our program, there's no classification or no clearance required, but our graduates will go on to work in some really, really cool areas where they do obtain security clearances, and those things we cannot talk about.
Okay, we'll respect that. Yeah. And, what are some of those career opportunities available to graduates once they go through the program?
So you'll graduate our program as a technician. There's a lot of different career progression pathways that we've worked with our production shop leaders on really charting a path through this program. So day one, it's that career progression pathway where they can see they're going to start as, I'm going to be an assembler level C. I can, get more tools in my tool belt. I'm going to get more experience. I can go to assembler level B to level A. Maybe I'm really interested in, quality. I'm interested in, being an inspector, or how do I move out of that technician production floor realm into maybe being an engineer? Like there's a pathway for that through Lockheed Martin's tuition reimbursement policy. We have a lot of students who will go through. A lot of them are first time in their family going through getting a college degree. That's huge. And, Lockheed Martin paid for that. That's an opportunity that's available for them. We've had people go to cybersecurity. People, they'll start in the space business area. So when we say BA, that's Lockheed Martin's business area. And then they'll start in space and they'll go maybe to Aero. They're going to go to RMS. They're going to go to all these different areas. And so the sky's the limit. And I'm not being cheesy when I say that. It's truly, the stars the limits, the opportunities, or it's whatever they want their path to be.
When I think of Lockheed Martin, I think some people think, oh, there's no way I can work with him, or I need previous experience, or, I know nothing about this, but I'm interested, but I don't think I can apply. What was the reason for offering this to the community, something that makes Lockheed Martin accessible?
So the program really started, 2016. Lockheed Martin and the industry were just noticing a shift in demographics. And so we really had an aging workforce. And so you had these technicians that had been in the industry for 30, 40 years. And we just realized that there's this diminishing pool of qualified talent. And Lockheed being Lockheed, we're going to do things bigger, better. We're going to design this program and grow our talent in-house. It started with that idea of like, okay, let's build our own talent. Let's teach them the Lockheed Martin, the NASA way of doing things. And so we launched our first pilot program in 2016 with, I believe, 6 apprentices, 2 of which are still with us. That's pretty amazing. And so it's really just let's grow our in-house talent. Let's, instead of, kind of getting people unlearning those bad habits that maybe they learned somewhere else, let's teach them day one the correct Lockheed Martin high standard way of doing it.
Since day one, 2016, till now, what would you say has been the impact of AMTAP on the workforce here in Jeffco?
Oh, it's been huge. I know. Mike's like, yay! It's one word I'll say is opportunities.
Yeah.
Opportunities to people who don't know that they would be a great technician. I often joke with people in our info sessions, if you can build the Hogwarts Lego castle, you would make a great technician. So, and people are like, wait, really? So cake decorators, we've had people who are ER nurses, who really have that fine dexterity, who are able to focus on something really small. And so it's these kind of cross-functional skill sets, people who are car mechanics. If you can build an IKEA flat pack furniture and no pieces left behind, or you're like, yes, building model airplanes, following those detailed instructions, cake decorators, being able to have a line that's really smooth and consistent with your frosting too. Plus, you get to eat it after. But
And what a neat takeaway, right? Would you ever think that if you had a background in cake decorating, that you would be eligible to come to Lockheed Martin and build spaceflight hardware?
Right.
Absolutely not. We didn't know that when we started this program, right? We've learned that throughout the evolution of the program, and we've really wanted to sustain that going forward. So this program has enabled Lockheed to stretch into other talent markets that maybe we weren't in before.
I would add to that too. I think manufacturing in Jeffco and the Denver metro area, I think for a long time really relied on people moving here from the Midwest who had previous manufacturing experience. And I think we've kind of gotten to a point where those people all have jobs. And so Lockheed Martin's ability and willingness to focus on transferable skills is what's made this program so valuable to the community, but also able to sustain for all this time and have so many successful stories of folks coming through it and moving into these careers.
Lockheed Martin is Jeffco's largest employer, and Jeffco Business and Workforce Center has played a key role in developing an innovative solution to address the talent pipeline challenges. So can you share more about this impactful collaboration and, like you said, how it's making a difference in the community?
Yeah, absolutely. We've been the benefactors of this partnership, over a decade now. And this partnership really provides that tailored support to Jefferson County residents. We're talking from everything from resume writing, soft skill training to mock interviews. And our partnership with Jeffco is ultimately helping the residents prepare for the future of work. And so the talent mobility that we're desiring, as well as the qualified workforce that we're desiring, is really predicated upon our partnership and our ability to reach into those talent markets and identify what are the gaps in those talent markets that industry and educators, as well as our Jeffco partners, can help us bridge.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I can talk a little bit about what this partnership looks like from our end.
Yeah.
Jefferson County Business and Workforce Center, we've been working with Lockheed Martin on this now for, I think, 9 years. I want to say we're on cohort 37.
We're getting ready
Wow.
to launch 35.
35, okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So cohort 35. So we've been through this now 35 times, but if you go back 9 years, we worked with Lockheed Martin to really figure out how can we help promote this program. This is such a powerful opportunity for residents of Jefferson County, but then also looking at the metro area as a whole, because Jefferson County is just one part of the workforce for Lockheed Martin. It's an enormous company. And so we worked with Lockheed Martin to figure out how can we work as a region across all these different workforce centers in the metro area to promote these opportunities and make sure that, if somebody applies for this apprenticeship program and they're coming from these different areas and they're learning about these from these different counties, they're having the same experience. So we want apprentices coming into the program to have the same experience. We want Lockheed Martin to have the same experience, whether they're working with Jefferson County or one of our other partner counties in this. So fundamentally, since we started this back in 2016, we've worked to support the recruitment. This is a really powerful opportunity for job seekers in Jefferson County to move into manufacturing. Identifying potential grant opportunities that can help support the apprenticeship program and connecting Lockheed Martin to those, because running an apprenticeship program like this is quite expensive. It's a huge opportunity for the company to train and expand its workforce, but it's also a massive investment in the community. So anytime we can connect those types of dots, we're here for that. And then looking at maintaining that regional approach. That's, I think, how we've primarily partnered with Lockheed on this.
If I could just add, Amber,
Yeah.
that has just been such a key measurement of our success, not only from the cost offsetting perspective, but also from delivering a qualified workforce to our production floor faster. And ultimately, that's what our customers are asking is, hey, how can we shorten some of these span times? And through this tailored partnership, we've been able to deliver that for our customers.
What's unique in our Colorado program is that partnership specifically with Jeffco, where we have that resume. It's a tailored resume and cover letter writing workshop that's hosted by Jeffco, ran by Jeffco, and it's open for all of our apprentices. So, of course, it's people who like, how do I write Jeffco, of course, knows what we're looking for, those cross functional skills. And so they can really help prep, whether people go through AMTAP or let's say they'll set them up for success for another opportunity too. I think that is a huge resource that a lot of people don't know that's free for whether it's Jeffco or other sort of local regional workforce centers. So there's one-stop shop. Like you need help, ask.
Right.
I think it's great.
So if someone's interested in AMTAP and they're like, I don't know how to sell myself or make myself attractive for this in a resume because I've never done it before, but I think I have transferable skills, I can go to the Business and Workforce Center to get support through that.
Absolutely. We've been running that workshop now for many years. I think the thing that we see is, we, having worked with Lockheed Martin, we can see this as like a starting point and a really impactful career path. But a lot of people have never worked in manufacturing, and actually they've never been in a manufacturing facility. And I would say generally, maybe no one in the family probably works in manufacturing. So we just, as a community, don't have a very good sense of like what that world looks like. And if your skills are transferable to manufacturing, and if they are, how do you transfer them? And so that's why before every cohort, Lockheed Martin runs an info session. So we used to do those in person here at the Courts and Admin building in Golden. Now they're virtual. And that's a really great way if people are considering it to learn about, what the program is, what the career path is, what kind of skills you'll learn, what do you need. And then we have a workshop that pairs with that. So if folks are interested in applying, we have a workshop for them to help them elevate their resume before they go through with that.
Just listening to you guys, I just feel like people in the community who are listening, I hope they get a sense of there's so many people, Jeffco, Lockheed, that are invested in their success because the success of people and families means it's success for communities and businesses, and that's success for everyone as a county and community. So, Dianah, are there any success stories or notable achievements that you'd like to point out or highlight from past AMTAP graduates?
I always joke with people, you're never too young to know what you want to be. And then at the same time, you're never too old to reinvent yourself.
Right.
So we've had people between 18 and 64 go through our program, everything in between. We've had, single moms re-entering the workforce after a break, raising kids. It's just a great opportunity. And I have the blessing to see it every day, literally to see a life-changing opportunity for our apprentices coming in. So
That's amazing. Amazing to witness too.
yeah.
Brandon, can you describe the collective impact that opportunities like this have on individuals and their families and the community as a whole?
Absolutely. And, I think Dianah said it earlier, but it's opportunity.
Yeah.
And, one of our big charters is getting the word out that these opportunities exist, because you might not know that this opportunity is made for you. Maybe you didn't see yourself in this environment. Maybe you didn't see yourself in aerospace, right?
Mhm.
And so the opportunities there, the collective impact is for opportunity. For our customers, the bottom line is we've been able to deliver because of this partnership to our customers, and that brings jobs to Colorado, or keeps jobs here in Colorado. So, to summarize, I would just say that the collective impact is increased opportunities for everyone that is interested.
Yeah. And Mike, you kind of touched on it earlier. How do you guys collaborate with other counties in the metro area to ensure the success of AMTAP?
The way we work together is we meet on a regular basis, and we really want to make sure that like our processes for how we promote this opportunity and support job seekers as they move into this opportunity are very similar, because we want everybody to have the same experience. And we want to make sure, if people are coming from a place where they might need some resources to be able to take on this opportunity, can we provide some supportive services to help them, maybe with transportation initially, or if they need some equipment initially. Those are things that we might be able to support with. And we've been talking a little bit about all the transferable occupations that people are coming from and then moving into aerospace manufacturing. And that's a place where regionally, I think we can have a big impact. Jefferson County Business and Workforce Center and all the workforce centers have career advisors that anybody can come in at any point and meet with. And they can start having that conversation of like, this was my background. I was a saxophone player. What do I want to do next? And looking at what some of those opportunities are. And then that's a point for us to really look at, okay, well, there's an info session for AMTAP coming up. Maybe you should attend that and see if that's something you're interested in. And so that's been a really powerful way for us regionally to support this opportunity.
And there's an upcoming info session on April 29th. What exciting insights or information can attendees look forward during this session?
Well, I'm definitely going to turn to you.
Oh yeah, I know. I was like, I raised my hand. Oh yeah, I welcome any and all chances to talk about AMTAP, and so I think a lot of it, it's a dialogue. So it's not just the Dianah blabbing at you. It's why are you here? What questions do you have? Of course, what is AMTAP? Of course, Lockheed Martin loves a solid acronym, and so we'll talk about like, what is a program? What does it look like? Kind of the initial classroom experience, those certifications you're going to learn. What's the schedule? Position details. How do you apply? You're like, this is awesome, Dianah. I want to sign up. Where do I go from here? A lot of other things, the program learning overview, what things you're going to learn. Qualifications, it's really some low-level qualifications. And so, of course, as we're a federal defense contractor, you have to be a U.S. citizen. You have to be 18 years of age to apply. You have to either have your GED or your high school diploma and be open to working all available shifts. Those are the 4 set in stone. Outside of that, it's kind of what we talked about earlier, those cross, functional skills and stuff. And I'll talk about the selection, the interview process, how that kind of works. I always touch on, it's like, this is a no prior experience needed, but here's some life advice from Dianah to help you calm the nerves. Like when you're asked a question in an interview, be specific. Give an example. Use your I statements like, I did this. Like, take ownership of you did a cool thing. Like, celebrate yourself. Be your advocate. And, we'll talk about the program evaluations. It is a pass-fail program. We do have those certifications. We have a very high graduation rate. And so it's something we're really excited about. And then we'll touch on the resume and cover writing workshop, hosted by Jefferson County, tailored for AMTAP. So that's a lot of the things that we'll talk about too in the info session.
And for any listeners who are interested in learning more, where can they go to learn more about AMTAP?
Absolutely. So lockheedmartin.com/AMTAP.
This program has been a tremendous success for us at Lockheed Martin, certainly with their Jefferson County Business Workforce Center, so much so that we've replicated this model at multiple other locations, trying to take this partnership's lead. So, on behalf of Lockheed Martin and our AMTAP program manager, Dianah Cortez, I thank you for the outstanding partnership and the longevity of this partnership. We continue to see so much value, not only for how Lockheed Martin performs, but also in the lives that we're impacting day in and day out. And I just have to personally thank you because my team is full of people. And when we get to see those lights go off and those moments get changed through these opportunities, it keeps our batteries charged. And I don't think they've been discharged yet.
I agree. I would add to that. I think this partnership's been really powerful for job seekers. And so this is something that Jefferson County really values. But also, I would say this has been around since 2016. And I think this has inspired other businesses to go down the same road and create apprenticeship opportunities, not just in manufacturing, but in all kinds of other industries. And I think one of the drivers for that, there's been an incredible increase in the number of apprenticeships over the last 5 or so years in Colorado, is looking at programs like the AMTAP program and seeing that success and then trying to replicate that in their own industries. And I think that has been an amazing impact for the community and for the Denver metro area.
Thank you again, Brandon, Michael, and Dianah, for sitting down with us today discussing the AMTAP program and Lockheed Martin Space's collaboration with the Business and Workforce Center. This program and this partnership help strengthen and empower the Jeffco community and metro area in so many ways.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
That was our conversation with Brandon Toya and Dianah Cortez from Lockheed Martin and Mike Aman from the Jefferson County Business and Workforce Center. What a great opportunity AMTAP is providing for Jeffco residents looking to jumpstart their careers. Amber, there's an upcoming information session on those interested, correct?
That's right. That information session is on April 29th from noon to 1 p.m. and it's virtual. To find more information about it, along with the AMTAP program, you can visit www.lockheedmartin.com/AMTAP.
Thanks, Amber, and thank you all for listening. Please, if you have a moment, go ahead and give us a like and a 5-star rating. And always feel free to share the podcast with your family and friends. Until next time, I'm Johnny.
And I'm Amber. Have a wonderful day.